Support WrestleTalk!
Hello, fun fact, I'm recording this the day after the office Christmas party, which is why my voice is like this, and also why this intro is over now. Let's get on with it. I'm Adam from WrestleTalk, and this is the news you missed. You know how it goes by now, and subscribe, though I'm not truly in the state to mind. Number one, why Reigns vs. Lesnar is at day one. Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar is happening again in less than a month's time at the inaugural WWE Day One pay-per-view. And you'd have thought that a match of that caliber would have been saved for a big show like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or Crown Jewel. But everything points to Day One being a traditional B-level WWE pay-per-view. So why are they stacking the show with Reigns vs. Lesnar when it could have been saved for later in the same month at an actual big show called the Royal Rumble? Well, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Day One is a Nick Khan idea, as traditionally speaking, December pay-per-views don't do all that well for WWE, so I guess just don't do one at all, he figured. On top of that, the idea is to make Day One a big deal to set up for future years, so stacking the deck with Lesnar vs. Reigns, which is the biggest match WWE can feasibly put on right now, seems like the way forward. Also, it was noted that WWE felt like they didn't need Lesnar vs. Reigns at the Royal Rumble to make the show feel like a big deal anyway, so all of this actually does make quite a lot of sense. Well done, WWE. That feels gross to say. Number two, AEW teasing Bray Wyatt debut. On this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, which was wonderfully chaotic at MJF's hometown of Long Island, right before the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal, the lights flickered. So you know what that means. All aboard the speculation train. Next stop, OMG, huge debut coming. Right as the match was getting underway, the lights flashed red, then blue, then went back to normal. This didn't appear to be a production issue, and the commentary didn't acknowledge the change either. But it is winter is coming next week, and you know what happened last year. Kenny Omega won the AEW World Championship, aligned with Don Callis, who confirmed a working relationship with Impact Wrestling, and also, oh yeah, this guy debuted. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that something big could be coming. And you know who was released from WWE early this year, has been silent about what they're doing in the world of wrestling since then, and was known for affecting the lights during their tenure? It's only motherfucking Bray Wyatt in it, lads. Number three, Hacksaw Jim Duggan beats cancer. Here's a nice little story you might have missed. In a Twitter update that WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan posted, he revealed that a previous bout of cancer he was fighting was able to be contained solely in his prostate and treated, which means he's now cancer-free. This was his second bout of cancer, and Hacksaw is still fighting through it just in time for the holidays. As he said in his video, ho, ho, ho! Oh, Jesus. Number four, Andrade and Charlotte are still together. Reports came out earlier this year that Andrade, El Idolo, and Charlotte Flair, who had been together since 2019 and got engaged later that same year, had now officially split. This came about as Andrade had unfollowed Charlotte on both Twitter and Instagram and had removed recent posts featuring the two of them. A report from Bodyslam.net stated that the split was not mutual and was a decision made by Charlotte Flair. However, a new report from Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc. stated that Andrade and Charlotte are still very much together, and on top of that, Andrade posted to Twitter, still not tagging Charlotte mind, but posted anyway using the hashtag mummy, which he often uses to refer to Charlotte, and called out fake news. So they might still be together. Who knows? I don't care. Number five, who really is Elias? Poor Elias. Do you remember earlier this year where he got a series of vignettes giving him a new gimmick where he basically killed off his old self and then was never seen again? What a fun time that was. Reports came out earlier this week and last week that was never an end plan for Elias's new gimmick, which just makes a whole bunch of sense now, doesn't it? However, there were apparently talks for a renewed Elias gimmick according to WrestleVotes on Twitter, as he was supposed to be like Macho Man Randy Savage with colourful trunks and beard, but apparently Vince McMahon and co didn't like it, so it was back to square one. Now a new report from Ringside News has claimed that in fact Elias's new gimmick is not anything to do with Macho Man at all, as he was reportedly spotted backstage a few weeks ago with shaved beard and hair, and now looks distinctly un-Macho Man-like. So who the hell knows what's going on with Elias these days? I'm sure we'll get to see him on our screens at some point. Maybe he'll just have a musician gimmick back again, because it doesn't matter. Number six, Liv Morgan addresses criticism. Liv Morgan faced Becky Lynch in the main event of Raw this past week for the Raw Women's Championship, and while the company and wrestlers were praised for presenting it like a big deal and making the most out of the main event spot, there was a fair amount of controversy leading into it following a promo from the week before during their contract signing segment. Liv Morgan referenced the numerous WWE releases from this year and last year, claiming it was all Becky's fault because of her big fat greedy contract. A little bit awkward, that one. This wasn't taken all that well by the fans because, you know, real people lost their jobs. Maybe don't exploit that for a storyline. However, Morgan herself has defended the segment on Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast. Was it hard for me to say what I said? No, because Becky has brought up my friends, and my friends not being here after that segment. I got a text from my friends saying how proud they were and how amazing they thought it was. I don't think there's any hard feelings anywhere around. I know I'm addressing something that may feel like an elephant in the room or taboo, but these are things that are happening. I don't think I said anything wrong. Everyone is allowed to feel how they want and react how they want. There was not one intention in my mind to offend anyone or make light of any situation, but just address the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation being that Becky Lynch got loads of people released. I think that's working yourself into a shoe. Number 7, record low numbers for Raw. Oh dear, Raw's dropping numbers again. Quick, bring back Goldberg or something. According to Brandon Thurston on Twitter, this past week's episode of Raw, which featured the steel cage match opener between Kevin Owens and Big E, the main event of Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the Raw Women's Championship, drew an average of 1.599 million viewers. This isn't a record low for Raw, but what is a record low is the 18 to 49 demographic numbers, which were reportedly a 0.35 rating of about 462,000 viewers. This marks the first time in 2021 that number has dropped below 500,000 viewers. Oh dear. With December typically not being a great month for numbers for WWE anyway, we'll have to wait and see how much damage control they can maintain, and what surprises and intrigue they can create heading into January as they build towards WrestleMania. Number 8, Jerry Lawler re-signs and returns on Raw. Something else that happened on Raw was the return of Jerry the King Lawler. Maybe it's him that's tanking the ratings. My voice, oh my god, my voice. After Nikki Ash lost her match to Queen Zelina, she was dejected backstage, but perked up once there was a random fan there who wanted her autograph. How that fan got backstage, we don't know. We don't ask questions, but as it turns out, the fan wanted the autograph of Jerry Lawler, who is standing behind her. Oh, wow, how embarrassing, Nikki. Sorry, you're better than this. Jerry was then a bit of a dick to Nikki and then walked off. It's classic Jerry, am I right? As it turns out, Jerry Lawler just re-signed a new contract with WWE, according to PW Insider, who occasionally appears on pre-show panels and the like. Guess that's financially worth it, but Hit Row and Keith Lee aren't. I'm still not over it. How'd you screw up Keith Lee, though? Number 9, Kurt Angle on why he declined AEW's offer. Speaking of WWE legends, resident ankle breaker and my favorite wrestler, Kurt Angle, revealed early this year that both AEW and Impact Wrestling offered him deals to return to wrestling following his retirement in 2019. Wait, how did he retire again? It was at WrestleMania against Baron Corbin. Why can't we have anything nice? Speaking on the paradox of sports, Angle has now revealed why he turned down the offers, saying, I like the fact that AEW is making noise. They've signed a bunch of great wrestlers. Chris Jericho is at the helm. He's an incredible athlete, one of the best that's ever done it. They have some really talented guys. The good thing about it is there are 2 big companies going right now. That's good for the wrestlers. That gives them options, gives them jobs to look for. I considered an AEW offer. I was offered a couple of deals. I turned them down, but I'm a WWE guy and my loyalty is there for right now. You know, I'm not signed with them in any particular way, but I do have some projects coming up that is part of WWE and I don't want to mess that up, so I'm going to stay loyal to WWE right now. That's right, Angle. Just you wait for Chad Gable's WWE deal to be up, then he can join AEW and you can come in and be his manager/dad. Number 10, good heavens, Lacey Evans. We haven't seen Lacey Evans around on WWE TV in months, and she was taken off our screens as she was pregnant. Do you remember that story where she was really into Ric Flair and then they said that she was pregnant and it was really unclear whether Rick was supposed to be the father or not, and just what is this company? Well, she was actually shoot pregnant, brother, and she successfully gave birth around 6 weeks ago. Firstly, congratulations, Lacey. That's awesome. And second, Jesus Christ, calm down. I say this because she just posted a photo of herself looking in incredible shape after just those 6 weeks after giving birth. How do you do that, Lacey? And that's our list. What's been your favorite of the things? You know, the wrestling things. Bye. I need some Lemsip. Goodbye now. Goodbye.